Welcome back, Rabbit Squadron here, about to give you a demo on the Yak-38 Forger. Now the demo is going to encompass hovering and taking off from the Baku Russian aircraft carrier, flying away from the carrier and then coming back to land on the carrier using the hover mode. Let's get this thing started. So select the Yak-38M, this is the one I've got in the tree. There are two options. I mean, you've got the Yak-38M and you've also got the premium, where are you? There's a Yak-38 Premium, well there used to be, maybe there isn't anymore. They've withdrawn it. Oh, it doesn't matter. I've got the tree one. Cool, let's go. So, select the Yak-38, stick it into test flight. Here we go. I'm going to go with the 20 minutes of fuel, realistic battles. So, okay. Now, today I'm flying with the HOTAS 1 flight stick from Thrustmaster, and this joystick's pretty good on the Xbox. It's not fantastic, but it's good enough. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is make sure that I'm actually in realistic controls, which I'm in. You can see that at the bottom of the screen. The camera's rolling forwards, and I now need to get airborne. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to close the cockpit and put the flaps out. Now the two main things about the Yak-38 Forger that you need to bear in mind. One is the rotation of the nozzles, which I'll just show you here. So that's them rotating fully down to the 100%. I've set them up in 95-degree increments, and you can see that you slowly go through them. You can see that at the back, behind the wing, that's the nozzles. That's set at 100%. So there's a nozzle rotation percentage, and there's also the throttle percentage. Right. So throttle's at the top left. You can see the percentage there is 0 at the moment. My flaps are out. My canopy is closed. I'm ready to take off. Right. Let's put this up to 50%. And let's go to 90%, and it should start to lift. There you go. She's starting to lift. There you go. She's not quite hovering, but she's more or less, she's got a bit of forward momentum. You can see there's 23 mile an hour forward momentum. I'm actually climbing. So 20 minutes of fuel, I'm not sure exactly what percentage of throttle set at 100% nozzles keeps her on level flight, but I can adjust that to suit, and you can see the height increasing there as I'm still climbing. But it's not easy to perceive other than those numbers at the top left of the screen. Let's put the throttle down to 76%. It should start to descend, particularly with this turn to the left. Let's put it up to 100%, see what happens. You can see I'm descending quite quickly now. Need to be a bit careful. Make sure I don't crash into the carrier. Nozzle up. So what I'm saying there is quite difficult to control the aircraft in terms of perceiving the height, just on the numbers at the top left of the screen. So I've got a nose forwards there, and I'm going to start putting the nozzles forward slowly in small increments, because that will help me maintain forward flight. You can see I'm starting to descend there. In a second the wings will take over and that engine will shut down in terms of the exhaust will shut. There you go, the exhaust shut, and I'm in full forward flight now. Flaps still out, bring them in. And there we go, that's the Forger taking off from the carrier. Now this thing handles like a brick. It bleeds speed real easy, but it does not have an air brake. So in actual fact your air brake pretty much is turning. So most people have trouble getting this thing to slow down on approach to the carrier. So I'm just going to fly by the carrier, shoot an aircraft down, and then come back and approach and land this sucker. So let's fly by first of all. So that's the flyby. The target of opportunity there, an F-86 Sabre. It's quite twitchy because I've got unrealistic control set on the HOTAS there. Let's fire that away, missile out. Splash one. Okay, so I'm still, just to give this justice, let's get this some speed up, because that's what people are struggling with. So let's show that. Let's get some height, get some speed, and get away from the carrier. Looking back. Right, so I'm at 500 miles an hour. Let's bring it round a bit more and then get the speed up. So you see there, as I'm turning, I'm bleeding that speed away, dropping down to 400 miles an hour. I quite like the cockpit view. Guess it's more of a realistic sort of flight. preference for me rather than the arcade sort of feel of the game. So here I am approaching the carrier quickly. Go to outside view again. Here we go. So I'm way too fast here, at 700 plus miles an hour, and there's no way I'm going to expect to go to hover mode and land it. So that just overshot by loads. There's no way I'm going to get back. So what you're going to need to do is this. Alright. Let's get away from it again. Now most people approach the carrier too fast for two main reasons. One is they misjudge it. Another reason maybe though that you're being hounded and chased down by adversaries. So your enemy teammates, your enemies are chasing you down and you need to get away from them. And you fly towards a carrier, A to land and B to get the flak support from it for the carrier to shoot down the aircraft. So just to simulate that, let's get away from the aircraft and then approach the carrier, and let's approach it again, pretty quick again. Here we go. So turning back into it, I'm already, see that I'm losing that speed in the turn completely. But I'm going to approach at 700, or get close to 700. So let's assume people are chasing me now. And, you know, doing all the crazy crap to try and dodge. So I'm going to overshoot Big Sal. Let's assume the carrier shot down my adversaries. I need to turn. I'm at zero throttle there. Now I'm using that turn to bleed off all of that speed. Whilst I'm in that, I'm going to go to 100% rotation on the nozzles. And look, I've come down to 280 miles an hour already. Throttle out at 50%, put the flaps out, get a bit more of a turn on. And those up a bit more. Need to get that speed to transition from below 100 miles an hour basically, which is starting to do. Put the gear out, get the landing flaps out. Descended a bit too much there, so I went to full throttle. There you go. Now I'm starting to bring it in, and essentially that turn around the aircraft carrier has allowed me to slow this right down. Personally, for me, I find it difficult judging the height when viewing the aircraft from outside and the descent rate. Look, see, I'm going to have to keep an eye on that and chase that down. So I actually prefer to do this inside the cockpit. Let's just do this anyway. Here we go. Shadow's helping. There, I'm down. So that's how you do it. Essentially, you need to slow this thing down before you approach a carrier. But if you're being chased, to fly around the carrier, do a circle. Let's take off again. I'll show you what I prefer. Personally, I prefer the cockpit view. Because in the cockpit view, I've got a gauge here, just below the HUD. Gauge here, zoom in on it. That gauge there, in the middle of the screen, that's my vertical speed indicator. And that essentially gives me an idea whether I'm going up or down, forwards or back. Turn and slip, is it? Yeah, turn and slip. Right, okay, so I'm going too far forward. So I need to pitch the nose up and keep an eye on the height. So the speed should be dropping off. They are. 4 miles an hour, 1 mile an hour, 0 miles an hour. Now I'm going backwards. Now the carrier's doing about 30. So I'm going to let this thing descend slightly and keeping an eye all the time on that gauge. I'm keeping it just below 0. I'm going forward again. It's coming down too fast, so I need to throttle up a bit to match it go down. Here we go. And now I can let it descend slowly whilst I'm over the carrier. If I descend too much, put more throttle in. If I descend too little, let the throttle down. And essentially I'm just trying to ease that throttle down. There we go, beautiful. That is a demo of how to take off and land a Yak 38 Forger. Hope you enjoyed the show. Subscribe for more and see you next time on Rabbit Squadron.